Hello and welcome to the long overdue guide to grenades in 0.59. I am Aga4 and in this video I'm going to go over the 3 types of grenades, how to effectively throw grenades, the effect of each grenade, and grenade penetration. Starting with the basics, as always, the 3 types of grenades are smoke, flash and frag grenades. The 2 smoke grenades are the M18 and RGD2. The M18 comes in white, red, green, purple or yellow and is only found at American heli crash sites, but the RGD2 comes in black or white, spawning in police and general military locations. These 2 smoke grenades will last 60 seconds after igniting, but have been known to last longer due to a bug. The only practical difference between the 2 smoke grenades is that the M18 has a spoon, meaning it will only ignite after it leaves your hands. The Flashbang is found in police, general military locations and American heli crash sites. It too has a spoon and blinds players with white during the day and black during the night, which I guess is placeholder until we get some sort of DirectX 11 effect with the renderer. The 2 frag grenades are the M67 and RGD5. The M67 is only found at American heli crash sites, while the RGD5 is found in general military locations. The only difference we found between these 2 grenades is where they spawn, apart from the obvious differences like name and model. So if there is a difference in damage or blast radius, it's not a noticeable one. The RGD5 is the only grenade that attaches to the tripwire at this time, even though the model for the tripwire with the grenade attached is the M67 grenade. I don't know how that happened. In the future, we'll probably be able to attach all grenades that have spoons to tripwires. All of the grenades that have spoons will ignite or explode 5 seconds after throwing them or dropping them on the ground, but if you drop a live grenade in your inventory, it will explode in 3 seconds for some reason. This only works with your own inventory. If you drop it in someone else's inventory, or someone else triggers a tripwire with a grenade, the 5-second fuse still applies. However, this 5 seconds can take longer depending on the load on the server at the time you throw the grenade. So on a 50 pop server it can take up to 10 seconds for a grenade to ignite or explode, but in most cases it will take around 6 seconds. Now before we move on to throwing, I want to warn new players that grenades are very dangerous to use. The 2 most common causes of accidental suicide, at least I'm hoping it's accidental, is pressing H to drop a grenade or your grenade getting stuck in midair. Pressing H only drops items on the floor when there is no space in your inventory for that item. So because grenades are only 1 slot, it's really easy to screw yourself over by doing this, as I'm hoping this guy learned. On the other hand, if your grenade gets stuck in mid-air, which appears to be completely random, this tree being here is just a coincidence, sprint away from the grenade immediately. Don't make the mistake I made of casually backpedaling away.
I'm dead. Great.
The default for throwing any item in DayZ is G, but you must have the grenade in your hand to throw it. Holding down G for 1 second is enough to throw it at full power, where tapping G will drop it at your feet, a good alternative to pressing H, because pressing H to drop items, especially grenades, sometimes causes them to bug out. In this case, the grenade did not explode, but holding down G for longer than 1 second won't make grenades go further. Grenades travel around 25 to 30 meters before hitting the ground on flat surfaces, but you will need to increase your throwing angle while pressing G to achieve the maximum throwing angle, which I believe is around 45 degrees. Thrown grenades travel slightly to the right of where the crosshair is, so if you're trying to throw a grenade through a window, you will want to aim a foot or so to the left of where you want the grenade to go. In 0.59, grenades and other throwable items will stick to walls. This should be fixed in the future to allow grenades to go through windows. So if you're watching this in the future, grenades probably will go through windows, and how are your hoverboards? On level ground, you will want to compensate your throw by 1/4 of the distance you are from the wall. In English, if I'm 10 meters away, I need to aim 2.5 meters above where I want the grenade to land, then aim a foot or so to the left to compensate for how the grenade travels on the right side of the crosshair. Now, I wouldn't recommend trying to throw a grenade through any small gap at more than 15 meters away, because the more you have to compensate, the more inaccurate your throw will be. As for elevated positions, and this is where it gets a bit tricky, aim up as far as you can and align the text that you can see on your screen with where you want the grenade to go. Then step back until your crosshair is half the distance from the floor to where you want the grenade to go. In this case, the distance from the floor to the center of the window I want to throw the grenade through is around 6 meters, so half of that, 3 meters. So I need to aim 3 meters above the window. Then hold G so I can increase the aim angle even more, and then aim to the left and throw. First of all, smoke grenades aren't as useless as they may appear. The smoke that comes out of a smoke grenade is visible from very, very far away, so it's a great tool to add to your OP zigzag for cover. If you're using an M18 smoke grenade, you will need to press H to drop it in your inventory for it to start smoking, and it can smoke while it's in your inventory, making the RGD2 a better choice if you're going to use this tactic. The flashbang blinds players depending on how far away they are from the explosion. This explosion causes the same damage players take when taking full damage, so a mixture of blood and bone damage, but isn't enough to kill a player unless these stats are critically low. The range of this blind effect is 20 meters. Past this distance you won't get blinded at all, yet at 18 meters you will get flashed at around 70% of the effect that you would get at 0 meters, meaning there's an immediate drop off at 20 meters. Based on our tests, I wouldn't recommend being confident about blinding a player unless you know the flashbang exploded within 5 meters of them, with no walls or objects between them and the flashbang. In saying that though, the flashbang is very consistent as shown here from this test, in which everybody became very blind. So turning your back on a flashbang does nothing at all. The flash even goes through a lot of walls and objects in the game, which we will get into in a minute. Now, just because I know people will ask in the comments, because people have before, going third person makes no difference when it comes to flashbangs, and different glasses, helmets or masks have no effect against the blinding effect. Only the distance you are away or the thickness of objects between you and the flashbang when it explodes make a difference in how much you are blinded. When it comes to frag grenades, anyone within a 10-meter sphere radius will die instantly upon explosion, even if all your stats are full. Between 10 and 15 meters it will ruin your pants, probably in real life too, giving you a leg fracture. Between 15 and 20 is a chipped leg, 20 to 25 is a sprained ankle, 25 to 30 isn't enough to give you a status effect but still causes bone and blood damage. The same damage we take when gravity wins. Past 30 meters, players are not affected by frag grenades. All grenades in DayZ penetrate surfaces. The flashbang can blind players through doors, walls and world objects, and the frag grenade can kill players protected by these too. But when a grenade penetrates a surface, some of the effect is lost as it penetrates that surface. To show you how much of the effect is lost, almost the entire effect of a frag grenade was absorbed by this single wall. Quite a difference compared to without the wall. This means a surface slightly thicker than this, maybe 2 or 3 inches thicker, will completely absorb a grenade's powerful effects. So if someone throws a grenade at you and you cannot escape, hide behind the thickest thing you can find. Now, because different buildings have walls that are thicker or thinner with different grenade absorbing furniture inside, I cannot tell you exactly where you'll be protected from a frag grenade inside a building, or the best place to kill a player inside that building. So I'm going to create a follow-up video to this one with loads of different tests in loads of different buildings, because including that much info in this video would take quite a while. On a completely different topic, for the first time in a year, the WOBO Community Server Fund has dropped below the financial goal of $175 a month. I'm paying the difference for now, so it's not like I'm going to take the server down or I'm threatening to take the server down, but if you play on the server or simply want to help support my content, please consider giving the WOBO Patreon page a visit. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the grenade penetration video.